Hi, beautiful Bravehearts. It's Lorraine here, and I've got my co-host Deb from California, Florida. Sorry, a hot place, not like here. And today we are going to talk about pelvic health for men and women. And our subject today is hernias. And I would say you hear more about hernias with men, but it's just as prevalent with women.
Yes, yes, it is. It is when you kind of go out there and start feeling out the public and everything, you find out that there's probably a lot more women. I just don't think they make it known. But I do, and I have worked with a few women that have had hernias. So yes.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, Rafa, we're at slide 3. So what it is. Okay, so I'm just going to talk then. So what is it? It's sudden pain in the upper. That would be for hiatal hernia or lower inguinal hernias. But there's lots of different hernias that you can get. These are just the two most common. Can also be femoral and umbilical. For men, the weak spot is the inguinal canal, where the cord starts to come through. And in women, it's more often the uterus, attached tissue from the uterus, if it's inguinal. And the next slide is slide 4, and it has pictures of a bunch of different, that's it, that's the one, a bunch of different hernias and their names. So you can see that you can get them pretty much anywhere in the abdominal area. And the stats on that are 25% of men will typically get a hernia of some sort. And a hernia develops when the tissue or the intestine pushes through a weak point in the muscles. So, we got to think about what's going on there. Right, Deb? I mean, we know that this is from the pooping in your pelvis,
It
right?
is so, it is so logical because, I hear all the time from people, well, I was lifting something and that's what they blame it on. And I say, well, I lift things every day, but my lining of my stomach does not give and let the intestines, perforate through it because it's actually the lining of the intestines rotting out from pooping in your pelvis. And that's what it's all about is that, we have to, and it's affecting all ages. I was just, we had a lecture with Dr. Wolf the other night here in Stuart, Florida. And one of the ladies, her son is 24 years old and has a hernia, 24. And then there's other people that are, 60 or 70 and some are in their 50s. But that is what it's all about and she knows that he's been eating, his diet is very poor, a lot of processed foods and, this is what happens. She has 3 other sons and they don't have it. So there's also some mental that goes along with it because if the 3 other sons don't have it and this one does, there's definitely a mental connection that does go along with the hernia with this one young boy. So
Yeah, it's always. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
So we've got to honor the digestive tract, and we've got to learn how to chew properly. I mean, that's one of the problems, and then food combined, and then, give reverence to what it is that we are eating. Thank all the hands that had anything to do with bringing that to your table. and really slow down when you're eating. Most people, we could eat a meal in 5 minutes. Well, it takes 20 minutes before my brain tells my stomach that I'm full. So if I only took 5 minutes to eat, man, I can eat a whole lot before my brain says, "Oh my gosh, you're full. Now you're in trouble."
And
Right?
and I can tell you that because of my job. I was a, fire captain, and there was no better time than you would sit down with your meal that bell would go off. I'm telling you, it was like they would call chow, you'd make your plate, and within like 2 minutes the bell would ring and you get like a couple bites in. And the funny part was, you had to go on that run. But even though you got a couple bites in, by the time you got back, I wasn't even that hungry anymore after just a couple bites. And so I was definitely out probably for 20, 30 minutes, but that was enough that it changed the brain to change and say, hey, that was enough for you. But yeah, it's very true about the timing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mhm.
going through these fast food places, you could probably zip through a few times before
Yeah, not
your brain
me.
got the signal. So
Yeah.
just know that's part of it. That's part of it because when we don't food combine properly, when we don't chew properly, when we eat in a hurry, all of these things slow down the digestive process. And when that happens, things start to putrefy. And when they putrefy, now you're feeding the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. And that the fungus are the worst guys. Those are the ones that drill the holes in the large intestine. So anything that's transitioning through that large intestine has the opportunity to fall into the pelvic bowl. And, after years, well, years and years and years of doing that, your manure pile is piling up. And, if it's inguinal, I mean, it's right there. It's stuck in the manure pile. So yeah, the tissues get irritated, then they get inflamed, and then they get infected, and then you get tissue rot. And when you've got tissue rot, that's when the abdominal muscles are weak. And anything will make the intestines or stomach pop through.
Yes, it is so true.
Yeah. So next slide here, we've got causes. And of course, like Deb said, a lot of people say that I lifted something. I lifted something heavy and I shouldn't have. But if your muscles were intact, it wouldn't have happened. That's where the problem is.
Yes, and that's where it comes important to maintain your core. By doing pelvic squats, by doing these exercises, um, and also eating the right food, so we're not pooping in our pelvis and rotting out, because that's exactly what's going on. And if that's the case, you can bend down and lift up anything. And also lifting with the right technique is important too. We lift with our legs, not with our back. So yeah, it's everything combined. So
Yeah. So the medical system says that some inguinal hernias have no apparent cause. Huh. Huh.
I think that's what it is for all of their conditions. They don't know what causes it.
And then it says others occur because of a result of increased pressure in the abdomen. Yeah,
Well, piece of pressure on the lining that's rotting out,
yeah,
it's
exactly.
bust open.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And a weak spot in the abdominal wall. So they got they got that right, but they don't really, they never get to the root cause.
They don't tell you why it's a weak spot. They just tell you it's a weak spot and that's the reason. So again, think logically and figure out why you have that weak spot. And it is your thinking, it is what you're eating, and it is what you're drinking. It's all of it combined. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And they also say straining during bowel movement or urination. Yep. Pregnancy, chronic cough or sneeze, like really a cough or a sneeze, and we get a bulge coming through our abdominal area or inguinal area, no.
Well, you know, let's go back to the straining during the bowel movement. Why is anybody straining during a bowel movement? When you go to the bathroom, you should be in, go to the bathroom, and be out. This is not sit down and read. This is not, trying to strain and get it out of you. If you are constipated, if you're not able to get it out of you, you're eating the wrong foods. Your body is telling you, you should be listening. And I have a friend, and even yesterday, and she came to the lecture that we had yesterday. We had a blast, Lorraine. We had 2 lectures, and it was just amazing. Doc, he was just on fire, and the audience and the women and the men enjoyed it immensely. But one of the girls, her other half, was at home, and he tells her that he's sitting on the toilet because he's constipated. Look at what we're talking about today. And, I didn't know that was she just told me this. And again, it's because he's eating the wrong things. And I knew this before she told me he was straining on the toilet because of all the other conditions that he has. We can go into the low back pain. We can go into the prostate cancer. We can go into everything else that came along with his issues. But it all started from the problem that he's having by sitting on the toilet and not being able to go to the bathroom. So it all stems from there.
Yeah, and a lot of people too, the medical system says if you're having a bowel movement once a week, you're good. Once a week, how many meals did you eat? You should have one bowel movement every meal that you eat.
I did see that a long, long time ago on one of those learning channels or something. They did a show, and I saw that, and I just, I was probably in my 20s, this was a long time ago. And I just thought to myself, who can go once a week? I'm like, that's just crazy and stuff. You should be going 2 to 3 times a day, minimum. Bowel movements, should be there. I work with an older lady with the hip fracture and the breast cancer, and she is so proud that she's already had 3 bowel movements in the morning. Every morning I see her because we walk the dogs, and she says, I couldn't get out of the house. I had to go to the bathroom. And I said, that's fine, and she's so proud of like 3 bowel movements by 9 or 10 in the morning, and I'm like, you got it, girl.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just keep on moving those bowels, because the more you move it. And then she talks about her dog having, she had 2 already. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
The more you have, the cleaner your intestine is. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So the medical treatment for a hernia is surgery. That's the only treatment. That's the only treatment they have. And then a lot of them, I would say the majority of them, it's the treatment, and then they use mesh to help make it so it doesn't happen again. But the problem with mesh is now you've got this screen, and your body is adhering to it. So now you've got something that's makes it so that you're going to have even more scar tissue, which is more things in lockdown down in wherever that hernia was.
Yes. So I have a story, and this is it's just a person that I know. She had a hernia, and so she went in to have surgery, and I told her, I said, whatever you do, just get the stitches, don't get the mesh. And of course, she goes in, and on the morning of the surgery, the surgeon tells her, no, I need to use mesh. And she says, no. And he says, I've had the surgery 5 years ago without the mesh, and I had another hernia. Okay. So of course, he talks her into getting the mesh. Now she's only in her late 50s. By the time that she probably will be, I'll say 60, in her early 60s, because of course, she's not going to change her diet, because that's what's gotten her into this mess in the first.
Oh, you're on mute. Something happened.
Sorry about that. She'll end up uh, having so much scar tissue that will affect her hips, her sciatica, and it's just going to be a mess. And I've seen it with another client. One of my first ones from when I first took my first class with Daryl, Dr. Wolf, and she had mesh because of a bladder issue, and they put mesh in her, and her whole, she had pain in both hips, she had sciatica, her whole pelvic area was just in pain. I don't think she smiled in years. She was actually living on the gummies, the CBD and like the CBD gummies, because she couldn't deal with the pain. And she came and we worked on her. She went home and her son saw her smile for the first time in, I think it was probably years that he hadn't seen her smile, because she was so miserable from the pain. And she now understands how to get that life back. But that was from mesh that had been put in for many years ago, 10, 15 years ago. And this is what it did to her. So people who have the mesh in are going to continue to build up this scar tissue and this calcification, crystallization. And this is the problem. So if you are going to do the surgery, make sure it is only the stitches.
Yeah. Yeah, I know here in Canada, there's only one hospital that offers that. So if you're not in the Ontario area, then you've got to fly. You've got to
Yeah.
make
Yeah.
arrangements to get it done. But well worth it. Well worth it if you're going to do surgery. And the other option is, you know what? You don't need to do surgery because your body hasn't forgotten how to heal.
Right.
All we got to do is come back and start the Perfect Day lifestyle. If you need to, download the Perfect Day guide for free, pdgfree.com. Yeah, and start going through it. And, if you need help with that, then reach out and book a consultation. If you're in Florida, that you could book that with Deb. If you're anywhere else in the world, then go to docofdetox.com/consultation and pick one of the consultants there. I'm one of them. But when you can change your diet and really, and not just your diet, but change your diet, start using nutraceuticals rather than supplements. There's no way we can get healthy without having nutraceuticals because we are in a very toxic world. We don't have a question. We can't question that at all. I know I wouldn't be as healthy as I am if I tried to do it with just food. I mean, I went back and got certified as a holistic nutritionist thinking that I could do that. And there's absolutely no way. Our world's too toxic. So we need a good plant-based keto diet, and we need to be honoring our digestion. So chewing, food combining, being in a good frame of mind when we eat, not eating fast, all of those things count. And then the nutraceuticals to help support the body and to help detox the body. And then the exercises, so the pelvic squats. These are things that are going to help keep you moving forward and functioning as you age. We see our seniors and their shoulders are all curled in. Well, the pelvic area is also curled in lockdown. So doing the pelvic squats is going to help open up that area. And the pelvic expander, that helps with opening the pelvis too, but it also helps with anybody who's got sciatica because there's three muscles in the groin and the psoas muscles, and the psoas major kind of comes in around where the sciatica nerve is. And quite often when it's tight, it's going to cause sciatica. So that could be one of the reasons why you get sciatica. And of course, cleaning up your diet so that you can and do the vaginal infusion and coffee enema. For sure, you want to be on the daily cleansing tea, the black gold, the black diamond, so that you can clean up everything.
Yeah, it's really just a big lifestyle change, because people want to say it's a diet. It's not. It's basically a lifestyle of what we haven't been taught and what we have been brainwashed into believing that this food that is out there is the food that we should be taking in, which it is not. The body was not meant to digest processed foods. And the body is such an amazing thing that once you put the right stuff in it, it can just repair all that damage. It can just repair itself. And that's the amazing part. And I don't think we're aware of how wonderful and miraculous this body is that was given to us, that we're able to do this and heal. And you have your personal experiences, I have mine, and we know it just because of what we've gone through and the changes that we have seen, ourselves, within ourselves, and with other people that we see that go through, the classes and stuff. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, yeah. So definitely you'd want to be doing the ultimate coffee enema. The ultimate coffee enema is more about supporting the liver than it is cleaning out the large intestine, but it does that too. And when you can do a coffee enema, there is the hepatic portal, which is about 2 inches into the rectum. And that is a direct line for the coffee to go right to the liver. And when it gets to the liver, it puts the liver on hyperdrive. So it's creating more antioxidants. And I think somewhere I read 600 times better. But when you can hold that coffee for 3 minutes, just 3 minutes, you've allowed your entire blood system to run through the liver when it is detoxifying on hyperdrive. So if you can hold it for 6 minutes, it's gone through twice, 9 minutes, 3 times, 12 minutes, 4 times. You don't need to hold it any longer than that. So it is such a great support for the liver. And nowadays, we hear more and more people with fatty livers, and they're not alcoholics. It's because the liver is struggling. It's struggling. It cannot keep up with the world, with this toxic world.
Yeah, it's all the sugars that they put in, all the processed foods that people are not aware of either. It's in salad dressings. People don't even think that there's sugar in the salad dressing, but it's loaded with sugar. It's everything. You have to be very careful with your food choices because even things that say organic, if you look at the ingredients, it's not good. So you have to be very, very careful to pick your food. But the best part is that, the pdgfree.com, that guide will help you and guide you because, you can learn about the coffee enema. You can learn about the vaginal fusions. It's all in there. You can learn about the different foods in the last part, like in page 500. If you go into the last portion of the book, it tells you about the food combining and what kind of foods you should be eating. And all these things, if you utilize them, it will change your life. It does. It changes your life for the better.
So you can become your own practitioner because who knows you better than anyone else? Where you're having trouble. Our pain is our GPS. And to begin with, when you get pain, it's just a quiet little nudge. It's saying, hey, look down here or move over here or do something about this. And we put that on ignore. And then before long, now we're getting a big kick in the butt and a diagnosis of something. I don't know about you, but I don't want that diagnosis. I want to be able to take care of that little nudge and say, okay, I'm listening. You need more water. Okay, I'm listening. I haven't had a bowel movement today. Okay, I'm listening. I'm really bloated. I'm never going to eat that again.
Right. Right. I tell people all the time, pay attention and write down what you're eating when you're feeling these things. Write them down every time. And you'll see it's a connection. There's a connection. I eat this and then I get constipated. I eat that and I get bloated. I mean, it's right there. If you are eating something and it's producing gas, like, like just abnormal amounts of gas, guess what? You shouldn't be eating that, because that's your body telling you, you're gassy and you shouldn't be eating this. It should be a very smooth thing from the mouth to the anus, and that's it. It's a very smooth, and things should go in and things should come out just as easy.
Yeah. If you're gassy, it's because your things are putrefying. It's bubbling, right?
Yeah.
And you're eating the bad bacteria, the fungus, and the parasites. I mean, we want that food to actually serve the body, not the negative guys.
Right.
Yeah.
But we got to really change the belief system, because you have to be able to look at that food to understand that it's causing you the problem, and not think about, oh, how good it tasted for the 10 seconds that it was in your mouth, And that's what most people do. I mean, I have people, oh, I could never give up cheese. And I'm like, really? All I have to do is think about cheese and know what it does to my insides. And immediately it's just something that I don't want to put in my body, because I know what it's going to do to the insides. And that's the important part, is how much inflammation you're causing within your body every day. And what you eat today stays, your body stays inflamed for, can be up to a month, food you put in your mouth today, the inflammation. And I have people, I only eat it once a week. I'm like, yeah, that's enough to just keep it going.
Yeah.
You just keep on inflaming yourself. It's just once a week. So you have to pick the better foods. And if you want to eat, a better food once a week that's not going to inflame your body, and it's that little cheat thing, okay, but let's not put the gluten in there. Let's not put the stuff that we know causes a lot of the issues. So, and I tell people, there are so many things available online today that you can find out that can satisfy that little craving that you have, that are much healthier than the typical processed foods that we're so used to eating. There's just so much out there, and you don't have to revert back to eating these foods that make you gassy, that make you putrefied in the gut, that you are ending up rotting out and pooping in your pelvis. So that's, that comes back to loving yourself,
Yeah. Yeah. How many times do you want to poison yourself? Because that's really what you're doing.
Right.
That's the end result. That's what you're doing. Poisoning yourself, like I said, feeding the bad bacteria, fungus, and parasites, which are taking you down.
Yes, they are.
So in order to bring yourself back up, for gentlemen, you could do the vaginal infusion rectally. And for women, of course, we have a choice. If it's in the vaginal area that's complaining more, you can do it there. If it's the rectal, you can do it there, or you could do both. And why wouldn't you take advantage of that? Because the vaginal infusion is going to help to detoxify the area. So we're going to start getting rid of the pooping in your pelvis. And it's going to nourish the area, so we're going to strengthen the tissues, so they're going to get their life force back. That life force is there. We just need to honor the body and start taking massive personal action. And I know, talking to women, we'll pretty much do whatever we're asked to do, and not with not too much hesitation to do it. And men, you got to get over yourself. If you're in a 20-foot hole and I give you a 10-foot ladder, you're not getting out. You're just not getting out. Doesn't matter how many times you climb up that. So just get over it, be more childlike and playful, and do what you need to do to support your beautiful body to get back to being healthy.
Right. Yes. I mean, I have it where, the biggest thing is obviously the ultimate coffee enema, because that's the one thing that especially men, and if they only knew how that would change their life, just even doing it once. Everybody that, like, I had both my nieces do it, and just with me, you drop weight you drop the waste, not the weight. You drop the waste, and my one niece, she dropped 8 pounds, 8 pounds of waste, and the other one dropped 10 pounds, and that was no change in their diet. It was just doing 20 days of the coffee enema, the ultimate coffee enema. So it is, it's getting rid of the waste. The one was toxic, and she had, some reactions to her dog, on her skin. They want to call it allergies. We just call it toxicity. And as soon as she detoxed a little bit doing the ultimate coffee enema, guess what? She could have her dog lay on her lap and she didn't have a reaction anymore. And she lost 8 pounds. I mean, that's like amazing. And so we're just never taught this, and we're not taught to believe in this stuff. But if people do the research, go way back and look up, how long ago they were doing these coffee enemas, and how now we do the ultimate coffee enema because of the toxicity that is around us. And truly, when you can feel the difference in your body and have the things change, and get that liver working right. That liver is your filtering, of the whole body. And we're being poisoned in the air, food, water, and that thing is filtering out. And that's why everybody has a fatty liver, because of the sugars, because of the toxicities. And so this ultimate coffee enema goes in there and cleans out that liver and gets it working right again, and allows that to detox your body and get rid of the waste that is in your body. It's as easy as that.
Yeah. And it's profound when you're down, when your body is so low, when you don't have that energy and you feel like crap, and then you do the ultimate coffee enema and you come out the other end, it comes out the other end, but you also come up and your body says, oh my gosh, I feel so much better, so much lighter, and so much happier. Like it's amazing, the transformation from before and after doing the ultimate coffee enema.
I mean, people just think that it's even my dog, who's now going to be 4 years old. He developed the redness all over his belly because he was constipated, because he had his tail cut, which Dr. Wolf has been working on him while he's here. It's been wonderful. But when I knew what was going on a month or two ago, I started doing the work myself. And since Doc is here, we're digging in deep again. And as soon as I did an ultimate coffee enema on him, the redness was cut in half. It was like ultimate coffee enema. And then within a couple hours, his redness went down. And after the second one, the redness was gone. And his tummy just returned to the nice pink, normal tissue that was supposed to be there. So when you can recognize that these things work amazingly, and, just do them, utilize them in your everyday life. Children, they can, all the issues that children have when they're young, they're constipated. So if we can get the bowels moving, and they will do a warm water enema with Tummy Love. But, if we can just get the bowels moving and not be constipated, the body won't be so toxic. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've got coming back to being your own practitioner. That's what we're doing these shows is to help educate people to know that they can do things on their own. You don't need to be running to the hospital. Matter of fact, a long time ago, a coffee enema, just a regular coffee enema, would be the first thing that would have been done to everybody when they entered into the hospital. And half the people were going home. They didn't need anything more than that.
What year was that?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's got to be a long time ago, because back in the day, when your mother or grandmother used to give you the teaspoon or tablespoon of castor oil too, that's been long gone. And my brother-in-law remembers that, and he's in his 60s. And so it's pretty funny if people do the research to find out what people a long time ago used to do. And if you go back and you actually look what people look like back in the 1950s, 60s, and 70s as compared to what people look like now,
Yeah.
you'll see a big difference. It's a big difference in how people look.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough. It's tough out there, and I know me. I'm like you. I feel something, and what's causing it, and I got to fix it because I'm not going to go on. When I turned 50, it was the arthritis in my hands. One time, wake up in the morning and I was like, ow. And I was like, no. And then I researched and I found out, oh, it's got to be the gluten. No, it's got to be this. So I made the changes. And when I made the changes, the pain stopped. And, just easy little changes. You start out doing these things and it changes your life.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So you can also get more information in the DocaDetoxLibrary.com. You can start looking at things like spoiled rotten, medical mafia, which kind of gives you the history on how the medical system erupted. And I did say that right, erupted. Highway to Health and Holy Crap. Now, those are just a few of the books you might want to check out if you're having problems like a hernia. And then, of course, if you haven't already, download that perfect day guide. You want to be able to create that perfect day for the rest of your life. That's what this is all about. I mean, Dr. Wolf, this is his gift to the world. 40 years of his in the trenches, what works.
Yes.
And all the protocols are in there. All you got to do is go through it. And if I were you, I mean, a download is good if you like, being in front of your computer. I'd rather have the book, but I'm a little old school. And then I can put those little sticky things, on places where I want to come back and read, or something important that happens on a regular basis. And now I know exactly what I need to do to help that, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have any questions, you can always reach me. I'm here in Florida, and it's Stuart, Florida. And my phone number is 305-342-9559. And right now, we also have Dr. Wolf and Dr. Sage Wolf and yourself coming here. And the classes are going to begin soon. We start on Wednesday. One of the girls in the lecture, she was like, I didn't know. I'm signing up. So, it's not too late. There's still a few spots. That right there, taking the classes will educate you like you have no idea. I learned more in the first whole life coach class that I took with Dr. Wolf than 30 years in the medical system myself. Okay. And, he's here. We're going to have a great time. And the non-surgical class will follow, and then the pelvic master class will follow the non-surgical. So for the whole month, you can call me, or you can call Lorraine, or you can look it up on Braveheart Nation, bhnuniversity.com, right?
Yeah, for the dates and times. So
Yeah.
yes, my next slide here is slide 14. There it is. And sign up for the Pelvic Restoration and Disease Prevention Masterclass. Now, this is for women only. We haven't had enough men inquiring about this, but you know what? They have issues in the pelvic too. So we need to create a class for them. But this one is specific for women. And the Calgary one is starting on Friday, and I still have room. I still have a couple of spots left. If someone is out there and wants to take it in, give me a call. I'll get the information to you and we'll get you signed up. My number is 403-605-9216, or you can go to the bhnuniversity.com to and look out where the courses are going on, and get yourself signed up that way. And all of our courses, if you're Canadian, you're paying in Canadian dollars. If you're Australian, you're paying in Australian dollars. If you're American, you're paying in US dollars. And all of our course prices have come down about 30 to 40%. So we're doing the best that we can to get this information out and educate as many people as we can. So I'll be in Stuart, Florida for the pelvic restoration, June the 28th to 30th. And then we are all in Coffs Harbour in August. And I'm going to be there for the pelvic restoration, August the 30th to September 1st. And then we're all back in Ixtapa, Mexico in October. And then I am there the very beginning of November, November 1st to 3rd. So go to either braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com to get more information and get signed up. And just know that if you can't come to us, we can come to you. So you can contact Dr. Daryl Wolf directly and get more information on what that would look like. If it's just you or you and your family, or maybe you and your husband or you and your wife, or maybe you've got a whole clinic or a whole team that you want to get educated, give him a call. You can call the 855 number, 1-855-900-4544, extension 5, and you'll get him directly. If he doesn't answer, leave him a message. And if you don't hear back in a couple hours, call again. He gets a lot of calls. And then we also have the Ixtapa Zihuatanejo 5-star World Healing and Training Retreat. If you need, to get away from where the problem started, and a lot of people, when you get away and you immerse yourself in all this healthy stuff, you get way better results. And hopefully you go home strong enough to hold the line for yourself. So definitely that is another option for any of the classes that we have, any of the PTTs, the personal treatment and trainings, or groups, or whatever. Even if you wanted to just go down and spend some time in Ixtapa, Mexico. Okay, so that could be a couples treatment and training, personal Wolf non-surgical training, Wolf non-surgical certification, athlete Wolf non-surgical certification. So maybe you're a personal trainer or you are a pro athlete. Pain-free pelvic restoration, pain-free pelvic restoration, and Wolf non-surgical, and the pain-free pregnancy. And just know that there is just about any kind of healing, regeneration that you want. We can specialize it just for you. So an advanced water fast, a juice fast, or just a healing retreat. And, just come and really heal. And I already spoke about that. Dr. Sage Wolf will go anywhere in the world. And we talked about the certifications coming up. So Stuart, Florida is starting on the 5th. Coffs Harbour would be after that in August. And October is Ixtapa, Mexico. And just know, like I said, the courses prices have come down. So the whole life coach certification is $3,900 for the 9 days. The Wolf non-surgical certification is $4,900 for the 12 days. For the New World Practitioner certification, so that's the combination of the two, it's $8,000. And for the pelvic restoration and disease prevention masterclass, it's $1,197. And do you still have lectures going, or they're
the only lectures will be Dr. Sage when he gets here, I believe.
June 12th? Ah,
Okay. And then your lecture, which is the 25th, is it the 25th?
the
Okay.
25th. Yeah.
So those are the two. We already had docs. We did the day with the doc yesterday, and we did the other lecture a few nights ago. So that got done.
And then there'll be actually in June, Dr. Daryl Wolf is coming back to Canada. He'll be in Toronto for a lecture on June the 23rd. So you'll find more information on that at braveheartnation.com or bhnuniversity.com. And then there's lectures going to be going on in Australia when Doc gets out that way. And all of the lectures are free. You know, you just come, soak in the information. Like there's a day with the doc that he does, the domino effect of normal living and reverse the irreversible. Those are some of the lectures. Let's see, what are we doing here? And you know, anybody who's got any testimonial that you are, you know, really want to share, you can go to docofdetoxtestimonies.com and you can just uh, type in your testimony. I kind of think that you can upload a video too if you're up to doing something like that. But you know, we want to hear your successes. We want your stories to get out there because you're not the only one with that problem. And when other people see that somebody has been able to heal that problem themselves, they get excited and they want to learn more. Okay, and every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we have Doc Talk Live Q&A. And tomorrow we are going to go deep into the pelvic area for men and women. So Dr. Daryl Wolf and myself will be doing that one tomorrow. And just know that our app is, we are in the beta test right now. So we've got a number of people that have signed up to do the beta testing. So we're going to get all the little kinks out of the BHN app. I can't remember what we're calling it. Maybe it is just Braveheart Nation app. Do you remember, Deb?
No, I don't remember. So Doc will make the announcement. So yeah.
Yeah. The only permanent health care is self-care. When you can truly love that beautiful person, that beautiful body, the miracles happen. They just do. They just do. Your body has not forgotten how to heal. It's this thing here. It's forgotten. All we have to do is supply the body what it needs and love ourselves. Love ourselves back to health. The only permanent love is self-love. So a lot of people, you know, are looking for love in all the wrong places because the most important place is right here. Once that's here, oh my gosh. Yeah, your life changes.
You know, when you do love yourself, you don't need someone else looking to love you. And that's the best part because it changes your life and the way that you do everything in your life. And it's amazing.
Yeah, you start looking and you start seeing all the good things
Yeah.
instead of all the bad, and you start feeling all the good things, right? Instead of all the bad things. So you want to raise to your full potential. You want to fly, which is first love yourself. And when you get that, it's truly an amazing ride. You won't want to ever stop it. Together we are stronger. Together we are Braveheart Nation. And the more that we can spread this news, the bigger we're going to get. The bigger we're going to get, the bigger that the healthier people are going to get. The healthier people get, the healthier the world gets. It is the domino effect in the right direction. And just know that your questions matter. You can contact Dr. Daryl Wolf directly at his WhatsApp number anywhere in the world, which is 1-469-861-8884. Or you can use the toll-free number, which is all over the world too, 1-855-900-4544, extension 5. Extension 5. And checking out the pdgfree.com and know that there is so much information in the library. And I think we will end it right there. So Rafa, if you could put up the Braveheart Oath. We'll just give them a minute. It is slide 18, no, 28. Maybe it's 38. It's tiny. Terry's got it. Awesome. Awesome. So I guess I'll say the Braveheart Oath. I am love. I am healed. I am Braveheart. Today and every day, from the moment I rise until I gently close my eyes, I will honor, respect, protect, forgive, trust, and totally love myself first and foremost before anyone else or anything else. So help me God, because I am, I can, I am love. I'm healed. I'm Braveheart. Thanks for joining us. If you had
Thank
any
you.
questions, put them in the comments and I will get to them. Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys.
Love you.
See you later, Bravehearts.
3, 2, 1, we've got this.